Growing up with him for most of my life, you'll learn a thing or two from him. For instance, when we were little, we'd play farm. Me and Tristan were the animals, and Bradon was the farmer. He'd pretend to show us around like we were one of his own livestock animals. Or to the time that we'd rock out in our own little band. See, if you can just imagine the small moments that we had, you cannot tell me those are dull moments. He continues to amaze me and others with his quirky attitude, his love and appreciation for family, friends, cattle, and the FFA. He's truly one of a kind with a heart of gold. He's given me and many others life lessons. One is to always be yourself and stand up for what you believe in. Bradon is the best person to ever make you feel better when you're down. His laugh and smile is contagious. He lights up the room by just walking in, and if you ever need anything, you can count on him.
The young man about to walk onto the stage has been an inspiration to me and many others during my time in the FFA and also in life. I first met Bradon when we were selected as Barren River Region officers. It didn't take us long to realize that we would be friends for a long time. We also realized that our fathers and uncles had crossed paths in this same way many years ago, and we hadn't even realized it. Bradon is known for many things, from tap dancing to auctioneering to showing Hereford cattle and also driving Freddie the Frontier. And if he's not driving Freddie the Frontier, you might even catch him in Grandma's little red wagon. But most of all, Bradon is a leader. Bradon has shown his leadership in the Barren County FFA, the Barren River Region FFA, and the Kentucky FFA. Bradon has a positive impact on each person, place, or thing he comes into contact with each and every day. Bradon always brightens my day when I receive my weekly phone call we were traveling back and forth to school. Bradon always seems to make my long drives to Lexington shorter each week. Like that phone call, let Bradon's message today have a positive impact on your life.
Our parents tell me he was born a leader. I wasn't there to vouch for that, but I know by 4 he had mastered brainwashing. How else can you explain my first words being Bubba, or my earliest what I want to be when I grow up answer being just like Bradon? Despite being a typical annoying older brother, Bradon has always been my best friend and my person. He inspires other people. He has a great impact on many people. That's from cattle people to dancers or to anybody he meets in a store to his own family and friends. He always inspires people to do their best and strive for whatever they want in life. He ever tells you, if you ever need anything, I'm here, he means it. He cares for everyone. And if you need any help on anything, trust me, he will try his best to do whatever he can. He will tell you just to be yourself. And I know one thing, Bradon is always himself. You will never find another Bradon Burks.
Kentucky FFA, welcome.
My brother.
My friend.
My brother.
Bradon Burks for his retiring address entitled, It's Bold and Brave to be Different.
Bet you didn't know I could do that. I started tap dancing when I was 5 years old. Now you may be wondering, Bradon, how on earth did you get into that? At the time in my life, I only had a couple of main worries. How my moo cow friends were, how my show goat Brownie was acting, and when my favorite show, Blue's Clues, was going to come on. However, what I didn't realize was that something wasn't quite right. My mom and dad had more worries than my livestock or TV show. They didn't get along very well anymore and ended up getting a divorce. It was very hard for me to understand what all had happened or what had caused it. I wasn't very old, but I knew that the feeling that I had wasn't a good one. And if your parents have gotten a divorce, you understand that feeling. However, I always found a sense of comfort at Grandma and Peepaw's house. Tristan and I loved going because it meant we would be in the kitchen and would help her cook supper for that night. One night when our food was in the oven, I ventured off into the living room to find Peepaw sitting in his chair, watching what looked like to me to be a strange TV show. This wasn't like a TV show I had seen before. It was a man wearing a hat, a cane, and those funny clicking noise shoes. Sitting down now, watching the screen, I began to get more and more involved in this man and how quick his feet moved. I went home that night and I asked my mom to get me a pair of those shiny black shoes. 1 week later, I was standing in a class with those shoes on my feet. I was so excited for tap dancing class. What cool noise was I going to make with my feet? We first started with a step, then a shuffle, then a flap, then our first time step. And that was day one tap class. However, as classes continued, so did the complexity of steps. From a maxi forward, a buffalo, paradiddles, which are my favorite, pullbacks, wings, and many more. You see, these steps didn't come from a couple of classes. They came from 12 years of doing what I loved. I loved tap dancing. There was something about the quick moves, the fast-paced energy. I couldn't wait to go back to class each and every week. What started as a getaway from what was going on with the divorce, it then turned into the place where I would go to get stress relief. The place where I could put everything else that was in my head aside. It was my escape. However, after 12 years, I was still puzzled with one main question. Why am I the only guy here? There were a couple years where some other guys came, but they didn't stay very long. I considered leaving sometimes too, especially when I began to get bullied for it. I would be in school wearing my favorite white t-shirt with a tap dancing man on the front of it, my name on my back, and people would treat me like an outcast for it. Freshman year of high school, I was talking to one of my classmates in FFA who learned about my tap dancing. They began to bully me for it because what I liked to do was different. Now, don't get me wrong, I love tap dancing. In the studio, I was fine. I would do my shuffle ball change and paradiddles like the rest of them. However, that bullying still ate at me and ate at me. It became to the point where I didn't like the person I was becoming. Now, don't get me wrong. I've always had a passion for my moo cows. But there was something about those shoes, the way they made me feel. I began to stop wearing that white t-shirt. Why would I wear something that made me feel worse about myself? I didn't find my place of belonging. I couldn't find my crowd. I would hide who I really was from the people around me. Some of you may be in that same boat. You're scared to show your real passions. I understand where you're coming from. It takes a bold and brave person to get over that fear. It wasn't until the summer before my sophomore year that I learned to be okay with who I truly was. I had always heard of how FFA camp was the happiest place on earth, and I wanted to give it a shot for myself. That summer, I couldn't go with my home chapter of Barron County. There's like 3 of us, okay. But I did get the okay to go with my friends at Hart County. There they are. I was a little nervous going with a chapter where I didn't know all the members all that well. For some reason, I decided to show others who I really was that week. That's a hard step to take. Looking back, there's not been one better week in my entire life. I had finally found my true friends, the people that really understood my passions because that's what I like to do. That week, I made some of my most fond memories and I made some of my dearest friends. Kentucky FFA, we have to embrace our differences and be proud of our passions. God has given each and every single one of you your own set of passions, your strengths, your weaknesses to truly better the people around you, but also truly better His kingdom. This year, it has been truly amazing getting to meet the many members and hear some of the amazing stories of other members across the Commonwealth. Members such as my homegirl Micah from Logan County and her passion of volleyball. Where's she at? There she is. Thank you. To Hunter from Edmonson County and his passion of hunting. And then Jared from Franklin Simpson and his all-loving passion for people. These members understand what it is like to truly live the bold and brave lifestyle. Maybe your passion is music. Maybe it's a sport. Maybe you have a super cool but really weird kind of a passion or talent. Embrace it. We can truly take action with our gifts, then we can see the better we have for the people around us. Are you able to embrace your difference? Are you able to realize that yourself is your best self? If there was any man who was able to be himself, it would have been my granddad. Don King was probably the smartest, yet most hard-headed person I've ever met. He lived in Florida, and he would call my mom every night at 8 o'clock just to check in on things, see how things were going. If Tristan or I had something going on, he'd want to talk to us too. And every time I talked to Granddad, it seemed that he always gave me some sort of inspiration. For Christmas this past year, Granddad gave me this list of sayings. And I want to share one of those with you. It says, thoughts for future success for Bradon from Granddad. If you find yourself in a position of leadership or aspire to be one, tenet that would be helpful to follow would be, if you see something that needs done or changed, assume you have the authority to change it. Kentucky FFA, you have the power to show others who you really are. You have the authority to make that change in your homes, in your communities. Kentucky FFA, God's given you a talent. Embrace it. Show it to all people, because that's what we are truly called here to do. Sunday mornings as a child, I would go to church, and of course, Papa would lead singings like he always has. And he would, of course, have his little grandson, Bradon, come up to the front of the church and sing a song. One of my favorite songs when I had to sing was This Little Light of Mine. This little light of mine, yeah, I'm gonna let it shine. Oh, Jesus, this little light of mine. Everybody sing, I'm gonna let it shine. Singing was not one of my passions. Kentucky FFA, let your light shine. Each and every single one of you have a light. There's so many good times to shine that light. Maybe that's at a chapter event. Maybe that's at camp. Maybe that's at a leadership workshop. But there's no better place to shine your light than right here. What I want everyone to do is get out your cell phones, turn the flashlight on your phone, and have it setting down on your lap. I'll go ahead and we'll give everybody a second to do that. Now, if everybody does this, this is going to be really cool. I want us to all realize and see how our passions can be shown, how one person's light can affect multiple people around them. So let's start this out. If you hear like farming, shine your light. Oh yeah, look at all those lights. That's wonderful. All right, everyone, lights back down, lights back down. All right, here we go. If you like sports, if you play a sport, raise your light up. Some athletes in here, okay? Everyone, lights back down, lights back down. If you play an instrument, shine your light. Okay, we have some talented people. Okay, back down. Do we have any other tap dancers out there? Can anybody else tap dance? Hey, there's my crowd. There we go. All right, you do a shuffle ball change. Here we go. Okay, now everyone, I want us to see how one person's light can truly impact a group of people. I talked to a person before session, and they're going to turn the lights on. Everyone else, keep yours down for right now. Go ahead and do that. You see, this one person isn't scared to let their light shine. They're willing to go out of the ordinary, to embrace who they are, to truly better the people around him. Now, if you're in that little section, go ahead and shine your lights. It doesn't take long until the other people around that person are willing to shine their lights too, to truly embrace who they are. If any of you can see their lights, turn yours on. Kentucky FFA, shine your light. It takes determination, perseverance, and support from all people to not get discouraged. We all get discouraged from time to time. However, when we have the support of all people, we better those around us. You can turn your lights off. Kentucky FFA, you have a talent inside you. Show that with others. You have a purpose. Find it. If you haven't found your true passion yet, Keep searching. It's in there. If you know your passion, share that with other people around you. This blue jacket, those tap shoes, those are just a few ways that I've been able to show other people who I really was. You have that opportunity each and every day. Maybe be a leader in your chapter. Be a leader in your home and community. You can make a difference. You have the impact to. You have to embrace it. It's a bold thing, and it's a brave thing to do. Kentucky FFA, let your light shine. Kentucky FFA, it is bold and brave to be different.
Bradon. Thank you for your inspirational as Bradon takes on the hill videos, your faithful heart, and your contagious laugh.
You've been a constant friend of the entire team. You're always there to listen to our problems and offer us great advice.
Kentucky FFA, your 2017-2018 State Vice President Bradon Burks.